Welcome to our video on liquidity risk, brought to you by Kanjo.com. This is part of a series of videos on risk. To get the most out of this, I recommend you first watch my video on Introduction to Risk and Return, if you're not already familiar with these concepts. So let's get started by understanding what is liquidity. Liquidity, or a liquid asset, is something that's easy to buy or sell. So an example of something like this is a stock or a bond. Stocks and bonds are traded on the global exchanges 5 days a week. So if you have a share of stock and you need some cash, you just take the stock to the exchange, sell it, and within a few minutes you can get your cash. So stocks and bonds are liquid. An example of an illiquid asset, on the other hand, is real estate. Real estate is not traded on a global exchange. It might take weeks, months, maybe even years to find a private buyer. So real estate, as a result, is not easy to buy or sell in the short run. So why is liquidity valuable? Well, let's take a trip to the land of Kenjolia, where our friend Kelly needs a medical operation costing $50,000. Now, if Kelly held stocks and bonds, this would be really easy. She could take her stocks and bonds, which are worth $50,000, and sell them on the global exchanges, get the cash, and pay for the operation, no problem. But let's say instead she owned $50,000 in real estate. Now, she owns the same amount of real estate, she owns $50,000 worth, but the problem here is that she can't sell that real estate overnight to pay for the operation. So she might have to take a loss on the real estate, or forego the operation, or maybe borrow the money at a very, very high interest rate. These are not good things. So in this situation, where she needs the cash, the stocks and bonds are actually worth more than the real estate, even though they're technically priced at the same amount. This is an example of liquidity risk. The real estate in this situation has liquidity risk. Let's see how this applies to your own life. Whenever you're thinking about an investment, you should ask two specific questions. The first question is this investment illiquid or liquid? Now, there's a continuum. There's no investment that's purely liquid or purely illiquid. There's this definite scale, but you should certainly think about it. Real estate is definitely less liquid than stocks and bonds. Things like artwork and commodities and gold coins, collectibles, they might be even less liquid. So that's something you should think about. The other thing you should ask yourself is, are you going to need the cash anytime soon? Because if you don't need the cash anytime soon, then liquidity risk is not as much of a problem. But if you need the cash, if there might be some sort of medical emergency, or your kid might be going to college or something like that, you need to think about what that means when you're investing. So I hope this video has taught you the basics of liquidity risk, why it's important to your own life, and how you should think about it. Thank you very much for watching. For similar videos, I recommend you check out my website, www.kanjo.com.